Hello, this video will show you how to enter a new enrollment into HHSC. It'll also show you how to view and edit an existing enrollment. First, let's talk about what an enrollment actually is. An enrollment is a group of people that you want to be associated within a program. It's similar to the concept of a case in CBMS, but one key difference is that the same case can be connected with many different programs within CBMS, whereas in HHSC, the same group of people would have a separate enrollment for every program. We're going to start with enrolling someone named Load Fake into the CM program for Case Management Program. With that kind of name, it's obvious we're using test clients for this video so that we don't unnecessarily display information on real clients. To start off, we need to find the client by typing Load Fake into the search bar. You can click on the client's name as it appears, or you can hit Enter to initiate the extended search. There's another video that explains how to search in detail, but I'd like to show you this extended search results screen in order to show you what to do if the client you wish to enroll doesn't yet exist in HHSC. Probably about 90% of the time you'll find that your client is already in HHSC, but for those rare cases where the client doesn't exist, you can perform the extended search and then click on Create Client. The client must be created before you can start the enrollment process. HHSC will try really hard to make sure you don't create a duplicate client. For this example, the client does exist, so we simply click on the name to be brought to his client page. From here, we click on the Programs tab to find out what programs he's been associated with. The Programs Managed in HHSC area at the top shows us that he has been involved with several programs that do their case management in HHSC, Colorado Works, Housing Resiliency, and Chafee, to name just a few. Notice that you can also see the Case Manager. This can be very helpful for coordinating case management in the future. In the Programs Managed by Other Systems area, you can see he's been involved with Boulder County Housing Authority and Colorado Works at a time when case management for those programs was occurring in ETO. ETO is a case management system that is being replaced by HHSC version 2. Now that we've confirmed that Test Fake is not already active in the CM program, we can proceed with enrolling him by clicking on the New Enrollment button at the top. This brings us to the program enrollment screen. It's important to note that once you hit Save and Next on this screen, the enrollment is complete. However, look on the left and you see that there are several more steps to go through to ensure that we've gathered all of the necessary client and program-related data. Even though the enrollment itself is technically done, once you hit Save and Next, it's a good idea to continue on to fill in all of the related client and program data. This will become more clear as I continue on. So let's fill in this screen. You must be configured as a case manager for a program in order for it to appear in the program drop-down. Although not required, it's a good idea to select how your client came to you via the Referred By field. Let's fill in the enrollment date and the case manager as well. Several clients appear in the Client and Relations area. The reason for this is that the system finds all clients that have been associated with your client at any time from any other system. By default, it has a check mark next to every client that was part of the most recent enrollment. If some clients are missing from the list, you simply enter the name and click on Search next to the Add Client field to find another client to add to the enrollment. For this example, I'm going to select these other two clients to be part of the enrollment as well. Once I've added all of the clients I want to the enrollment, I click on Save and Next. This should complete the enrollment. However, some data is missing, so I'm not able to continue. The relationship to HOH must be selected for each client in the enrollment. This is also a good time to validate and maybe update the in-home indicator and which client is marked as HOH. Now that everything is filled in, let's try clicking Save and Next again. Now we're brought to the Core Demographics screen. Notice how on the left the enrollment step is now marked as complete, and we're now in the Client Details section. This left navigation shows you where you are in all of the steps for completing an enrollment and providing all necessary client and program-related data. To edit data on any of these screens, you click on the pencil icon next to the person you want to update. One thing I'd like to point out on the screen is the yellow highlighting. In general, what that means is there's probably data there that you should review or fill in before you continue. It can mean one of three things. It can mean that the data is missing, which is pretty obvious, or it can mean that there are conflicts in the database for that value. For example, for the gender for Mr. Load Test Fake, he's male here, but in other systems he might be female or transgender. So it's suggesting that you look at that and update it to be accurate. The yellow highlight can also mean that the data is pretty old, and really that would come into play with time-sensitive data like address, for example. If the address is highlighted, it might mean that it's very old and you might want to check it out to confirm it's still accurate. From here you can add or correct any of the core demographics. Let's correct the gender on this person. And then click Save to continue. To move to the next step, click on Next. Notice how there's now a check mark next to the core and contact sections to show you that you've reviewed the information. The contact information section is one place where you can do kind of a mass update on the address fields. This means you can update the address for all clients in the household at once. To do this, click on the pencil next to home address or mailing address. From here you have several options. You can copy from another client in the household, or you can make changes that apply to all clients in the household. I'm going to copy from one client to save myself some typing and keep all of the clients checked under Apply Address to Clients. Then I'm going to correct the address to be 123 instead of 1234 and hit Save. This will update the address for all of the clients in the enrollment. If I just want to update the address of one client, I click on the pencil next to their name. Then I select which address I want to update, make changes, and click on Done. I could also add a new address by selecting an address type and clicking on the plus sign. Then filling in the fields that pop up on the right. And clicking on Done. Click on Save to complete the edit. You can also update or add a phone number or email in the same way. Once you're done updating the contact information, click on Next to be brought to the next set of data. This last set of data in the Client Details section is data that is commonly reported on, and for lack of a better word is grouped together as census data. Whenever you see the red asterisk by something, it means that it is required. These can be edited in the same way as the other demographics. Just click on the pencil at the end of the row of a client, fill in the data, I'm going to purposely leave ethnicity blank so you can see what happens when required data is missing. And click on Save when you're done entering data. As you can see, ethnicity is required, so we're going to select it. Now let's hit Save to continue. When you edit a client, any required fields must be filled in order to continue. Click on Next to go to the next section. This next section is client-level data that is not standard across all programs. Different programs may need different client data, and depending on which program you're enrolling your client in, you will see different fields in this section. This section could be skipped entirely if your program has no additional client data that it wants to gather. Notice we're now in the Advanced Client Details section on the left. But if you look above to the Client Details section, it is flagged as missing data. That's because I didn't edit all of the clients to update their demographics, and there is at least one that needs to be edited to have their data updated. Let's quickly fill in employment status, public assistance, and marital status. for each client. Click Save and Next to continue. Notice how we are stepping through each client in the enrollment. This last section is data that other programs have requested about this client. If you have the information, this is a great time to fill it in to help out the other programs. Otherwise, you click on Save and Next to continue. This last section of data to fill in is the Program Details section. Again, notice how we're now in the Program Details section on the left and that the Advanced Details section is marked as complete. This Program Details section is also data that's specific to a program, but it's different from the Advanced Client Details in that it pertains to the whole enrollment. It is not client specific. Some programs may not have any program details that they want to capture. In that case, you'll see Not Required in the section on the left. I'm just going to fill in some values and click on Save and Next. This last step is the Review page. This page will tell you the specifics on which steps have required data that is missing. Below that, it will also show you specifics on what exactly is missing in each section. You can skip around by clicking on the section name on the left. Missing data does not have to be filled in at the time of enrollment. However, you will not be allowed to record any case management data if any required data is missing. For example, if ethnicity is missing for a client in the enrollment, you will not be able to record a goal or a self-sufficiency matrix for that enrollment. Now that we've completed an enrollment, let's look at how to view and edit an enrollment. Let's once again search for Load Fake. And click on the Programs tab. Notice how we now see the enrollment for this case management program. You can also see enrollment date, status, name of HOH, and case manager. To see more details, click on the program name. This gets you to the program enrollment summary page, which shows you everything about the enrollment. Again, you can see the name of the HOH, the caseworker, the status date, and so on. You can also see all of the people in the enrollment and what their relationship is to the HOH. Notice the sections on the left that allow you to navigate through all of the client and program details. You can get to their client page by clicking on the name. The last thing I want to show you is how to edit an enrollment. You can edit the enrollment if you're a caseworker on the program by clicking on the Edit button in the Enrollment section. Editing an enrollment works pretty much the same as the Create Enrollment screens. You have the same navigation options on the left. Although you can edit many things, the most common reason would be that you want to modify the enrollment status. You can change the status of the entire enrollment, which impacts all of the clients in the enrollment, or you can change the status of just one of the clients. First, I'll show you how to change the status of just one of the clients. For the case where the client is no longer in the household and therefore no longer participating in the program, you may want to dismiss that client from the program but leave enrollment active for the other clients. In that case, you can modify the status of the client by clicking on the drop-down and selecting the new status. If you dismiss the client, you'll be required to fill in a dismissal reason. Every program is configured with its own dismissal reasons. To mark the entire enrollment complete, you can change the status up above. You will again be required to select a dismissal reason. Either way, click on Save and Next to continue. If you like, you can step through the client and program data to make updates as well. These work just like the initial enrollment screens. That completes this tutorial on enrollment in HHSC. Thank you for watching.